I told you to put the tea down. Now drop it, or I will charge you with obstruction.
Do you understand me?
You need to step away from this shelf right now. Are you planning on paying for that tea?
I am simply browsing, officer. I haven't done anything wrong.
The fluorescent lights of Green Valley Market flickered softly overhead as Maya Benton tightened her grip on the basket. She only needed tea, medicine, maybe bread. Nothing more. But she could feel Officer Caleb Rourke's eyes drilling into her back long before he spoke. The squeak of his boots grew louder down the aisle. He called, voice sharpened like a blade. You planning to pay for that? Maya froze. The box of chamomile tea trembled in her hand. Around her, shoppers glanced over, then quickly pretended to be interested in produce labels, discount stickers, anything but her. I haven't even walked away from the shelf, she said quietly. Rourke stepped closer, invading the space between her breath and her dignity. The badge on his chest reflected the cold aisle lights. Yeah, he muttered, lowering his voice, but you people always have a way of getting creative. Those words sliced deeper than he knew. Maya's heart thudded once, heavy, humiliated, but her face remained still, disciplined. She'd survived worse in a grocery store aisle with a bored, power-drunk cop. She slowly set the tea back on the shelf. Rourke smirked, tapping his radio. Don't go anywhere. I'm checking camera footage. If it shows anything funny, his meaning dripped without finishing. A sudden rustle startled them both, an elderly woman watching nervously, clutching her purse tighter. And then Maya saw it, Rourke reaching for his cuffs. For nothing. For her. And the aisle went unbearably silent as he stepped forward. And Maya realized his confrontation was only the beginning. Maya Benton hadn't planned to spend more than 10 minutes inside Green Valley Market that afternoon. She'd slipped in quietly, her navy coat still dusted with rain, her curls tucked back from the humidity. The store smelled of oranges and disinfectant, comforting, familiar. Her grocery chain always did. That was the irony. She reached for a basket, nodding politely to a passing cashier. Afternoon, she said. He smiled back, hesitant, polite but nervous. She didn't think much of it. What she did notice was a heavy clack of police boots somewhere behind her. Maya moved down the tea aisle, scanning varieties, letting her breath settle. And then, a sharp voice cut through the shelves. She turned. Officer Caleb Rourke stood planted in the aisle, thumb hooked aggressively into his belt. His pale eyes narrowed. You planning to pay for that? Maya blinked. I haven't left the shelf. That's not what I asked. A couple near the end of the aisle froze, pretending to read the spice rack. Maya felt heat under her collar but kept her tone steady. Is there a reason you're approaching me? Rourke smirked. Store got a call about suspicious activity. Suspicious? She repeated quietly. Yeah. His gaze slid over her deliberately. Fits a pattern. The word simmered with something unspoken, something she'd heard before in different forms, different decades. Maya set the chamomile box down. Officer, I just arrived. You're welcome to check the footage. Oh, I will, he said, but you stay right there. Don't start wondering. His hand hovered near his cuffs, a silent threat. She inhaled slowly. You're escalating a situation that doesn't exist. That your official statement, he taunted, because you're getting fidgety. I'm not. Raise your voice and it becomes resisting. Her throat tightened. I'm speaking calmly. That's subjective. The couple walked away quickly. A timid employee approached. Officer Rourke, do you need help? He didn't even look at her. Call your manager. We've got a situation. No, you don't, Maya insisted. You have a misunderstanding that you're choosing to turn into something else. Rourke stepped closer. Funny how every time I tell someone like you. Someone like me. Maya cut in. His jaw clenched. Don't twist my words. I'm repeating them. He snapped his fingers. Manager's office. Now. You don't have grounds to. He grabbed her elbow. Not hard enough to bruise, but hard enough to humiliate. Shoppers gasped softly. A phone rose. Someone recorded. Let go, Maya said, forcing calm. You're detaining me without cause. You're detained for investigation. Based on what evidence? He smirked again. Behavioral cues. Maya almost laughed. Almost. But the sting in her chest made it impossible. I picked up a box of tea. You hesitated, he said. Looked around. I looked at the price. That's what shoplifters do before they pocket something. A murmur rippled through the nearby crowd. So, the timid employee tried again. Maybe we should review. Not your call, Rourke barked. Manager's office. Now. Maya stood straighter. I will walk there, but you will not put your hands on me again. He studied her, irritated but calculating. Fine. Move. She stepped past him, carrying nothing, not even the basket she had picked up. The aisle stretched ahead like a tunnel of judgment. As she walked, whispers followed. Did she steal something? Why else would a cop be here? I saw her near the tea aisle earlier. Maybe she put something in her coat. She didn't flinch. She'd learned over years of boardrooms and silent biases how to let humiliation slide off her skin. But today it burned deeper. Because she owned this building. This store. These walls built from her ideas, her risk, her work. Rourke's voice echoed behind her. Keep moving. Don't try anything. She didn't tone. I'm not the one trying anything. They reached the front of the store. The cashier from earlier looked horrified but said nothing. His silence was familiar. Too familiar. Near the manager's office, Kyle Fraser, tall, flustered, mid-30s, hurried out. Officer, what's going on? Your customer here fits a theft description. Kyle blinked. We didn't report anything. Anonymous call. Rourke snapped. Now I need access to your security room. Maya exhaled. Kyle, show him the footage. It'll clear this up. Rourke stepped between them. She doesn't get to request anything. This is an active investigation. Kyle swallowed. Oh, okay. Let's go inside. Maya met his eyes. You know me. He froze, confused, recognition flickering but incomplete. Rourke opened the office door aggressively. Inside. Maya stepped through, and as the door shut behind them, she understood something chilling. Rourke didn't want the truth. He wanted control. The manager's office felt smaller than Maya remembered. Stale coffee lingering in the air, a hum from the old desktop computer, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like restless insects. Kyle Fraser stood rigid behind his desk, unsure where to place his hands. Officer Rourke closed the door with a firm click, sealing the three of them inside. Maya inhaled slowly. Kyle, please pull up footage from aisle 5. Rourke's voice sliced through her request. She doesn't give instructions. I do. He jabbed a finger toward Kyle. Security feed. Full store access. Now. Kyle fumbled with the keyboard. Right. Sure. Maya stepped forward. I'd like to see it as well. You don't get to oversee evidence, Rourke snapped. It's exculpatory, she replied. Or would that be inconvenient? He turned toward her sharply. What's your tone? That, she said quietly, is not the problem here. Kyle pretended not to hear the tension, clicking through folders with shaky hands. Okay, this should be the right feed. Rourke shook his head. No, start from 15 minutes earlier. 15 minutes. Kyle echoed. But she came in. You don't know that, Rourke interrupted. Don't assume anything. That's how merchandise walks out. Maya stared at him. So now you're rewriting the timeline. He ignored her, leaning over Kyle's shoulder. Full screen. Zoom on aisle 5. Kyle hesitated, eyes darting between them. Officer, there's nothing showing her taking anything. You don't know what you're looking for, Rourke said. These people are subtle. Maya's breath caught. Say it clearly, officer. Say what you mean by these people. He stiffened. You're twisting words again. I'm repeating them again. Rourke stepped toward her, anger flaring. One more interruption and I'll escalate. Into what? Maya asked. You've already detained me without cause. He lifted his chin. Resisting investigation can lead to handcuffs. Kyle raised both hands quickly. Let's not escalate anything. I just need to know what I'm looking for. You're looking for suspicious movements, Rourke commanded. She picks something up, glances around, tries to slide it into a pocket or sleeve. Maya folded her arms. My hands were visible the entire time. That's what you claim, he said. That's what the camera shows. We'll see. Kyle played the footage. Maya appeared on the screen, walking, pausing, reading labels, selecting tea, examining price, putting the box back. Nothing more. Kyle cleared his throat. Officer M, I'm not seeing anything. Rourke leaned closer. Rewind. She moved her left arm behind the shelf. That me adjusting my purse strap, Maya said. You could have hidden something behind the boxes. Then check the shelf, Maya replied. You'll find everything intact. Kyle nodded. Officer, maybe we should check the shelf before. No, Rourke said firmly. She was acting evasive. Evasive behavior indicates guilt. Maya stared at him, stunned by the audacity. Your interpretation of behavior is not evidence. You don't get to tell me what constitutes evidence. I do when you're inventing it. Rourke took a step toward her again, jaw tightening. You want to push me? Keep going. Kyle swallowed, voice trembling. I think the footage clears her. Rourke's head whipped toward him. Do you want to obstruct an active police investigation? What? No, I just... She fits a suspect description. That alone justifies further questioning. Maya frowned. What description? Rourke hesitated for a split second, too quick for Kyle, but not for her. A woman, he finally said, carrying a purse. Maya almost laughed. That describes half the store. You're being defensive. You're being ridiculous. Kyle exhaled heavily. Officer, maybe we should just resolve this peacefully. There's clearly nothing here. Rourke stared at him, a quiet threat in his posture. You will cooperate, or I'll report your store for obstructing an investigation. Kyle turned pale. I can't have that. Then stay out of it. Maya stepped between them slightly, her voice calm but sharp. Intimidating him won't make me guilty. Rourke glared. You think you're protected because you speak well, dress well? That doesn't change anything. Kyle looked horrified. Officer. Quiet, Rourke snapped. Maya's jaw tensed. You're profiling me. I'm doing my job. You're abusing your authority. He leaned in, voice low. I know your type. And what type is that? The kind that plays innocent until I find something. There's nothing to find. We'll see about that, Rourke said. I'm taking you downtown. Kyle froze. Downtown? Officer, isn't that extreme? She's obstructing. I haven't obstructed anything, Maya said. You challenge lawful commands, he replied. I asked for proof. That's defiance. My questioning is legal. Not when the officer feels threatened. Maya stared at him. I haven't moved. I haven't raised my voice. How am I threatening you? Rourke's eyes hardened. That's the thing about threats. Sometimes it's the attitude. Kyle stepped closer to Maya. Please, maybe just go with him. It'll sort itself out. Maya looked at him with disbelief. You want me to be detained because you're too afraid to tell him he's wrong. Kyle shook his head. I'm not saying he's right. I can't risk the store. It's already at risk, she said softly, for allowing this. Rourke grabbed her wrist. Let's go. Maya pulled back sharply. Don't touch me. That's resisting. That's self-preservation. He shoved the cuffs forward. Turn around. No, her voice didn't shake. Kyle pleaded. Officer, maybe we should review the footage again. I said she's coming with me. Maya breathed deeply, eyes closing for one brief, steadying moment. When she opened them, she met Rourke's stare without flinching. Fine, she said. Take me, but understand this. Her voice dropped to a whisper, controlled and cutting. You're not going to like how this ends. Rourke smirked. We'll see. He opened the office door, guiding her out with a threat of cuffs lingering in the air. The hallway outside was already crowded with employees and customers. Phones rose. Voices murmured. And as Rourke pushed her toward the exit, Maya walked with stillness carved from pain and fire. This was no misunderstanding. This was a line she'd been forced to cross. And she would not cross it quietly. The grocery store door slid open with a harsh mechanical hiss as Officer Rourke pushed Maya outside. The shift in air hit her immediately. Cold wind, sharp and metallic, carrying the low rumble of traffic beyond the parking lot. But louder than all of it were the voices. A crowd had gathered. At least 15 people stood clustered near the entrance, some whispering, some openly gawking. Several held up phones. Their screens glowed like tiny judgmental suns. "There she is," someone murmured. "I heard she got caught stealing." "Really? She looks too put together." "Doesn't matter. They always do that." Maya kept her chin up, though heat pricked behind her eyes. She would not let strangers witness her break. Not here. Not in front of him. Rourke's grip tightened just enough to warn her. "Keep moving." "I am moving," she replied, voice steady. "You're dragging your feet." "No, I'm walking." "That's subjective." A few people snickered. Maya's heart twisted, not because of the comments themselves, but because no one questioned why a calm, unarmed woman was being paraded across a parking lot like she committed a violent crime. No one said, "What if she didn't do anything? What if this is wrong?" The silence of bystanders hurt more than their words. Near the edge of the lot, Kyle hurried after them, his tie flapping in the wind. "Officer! Officer Rourke! Hang on!" Rourke didn't slow. "Go back inside, manager. I told you, this is active law enforcement business." Kyle puffed, breathless. "We saw the footage. There's nothing at all. We should at least." "You want to be part of the report." Rourke snapped. "You want to explain why you interfered with the detainment." Kyle shrank back. "And no, this doesn't feel right." Maya turned her head slightly toward him. "Your voice matters." But Kyle's gaze dropped to the pavement. I can't get involved." Rourke gave a satisfied grunt. "Exactly. Stay out of it." He nudged Maya again. "Let's go." Before they could reach the patrol car, a voice cried out behind them. "Officer, wait!" Jasmine, the young cashier from earlier, ran across the parking lot. Her hair bounced wildly, apron fluttering, phone clutched tightly in her hand. Rourke scowled. "You need to go back inside, miss." No, I checked the camera feed myself." Jasmine's voice trembled, but she didn't back down. She didn't take anything. Not even close. "I saw everything." Rourke's face darkened. "You access restricted footage without managerial permission." Yes, because you were accusing someone without cause. That's tampering with evidence. It's clarifying evidence." Maya felt a flicker of hope. Jasmine's courage stood out like a small flame in a cold room. Kyle looked horrified. "Jasmine, please, this could cost you your job." "I know," she whispered, "but what's happening to her is worse." Maya met her eyes, gratitude blooming under her ribs. Jasmine saw it and straightened. Rourke stepped forward, towering over the young woman. "Give me the phone." No, Jasmine hugged it to her chest. "The footage proves you didn't steal." Rourke's tone dropped to a dangerous growl. "Give me the phone." "Officer, Maya cut in. If the footage clears me." "Quiet," he barked. The crowd gasped. Phones lifted again. Jasmine flinched but stood her ground. "You can't arrest her for nothing. You can't destroy people like this." Rourke scoffed. "Oh, I can, and I will, if you keep obstructing." Jasmine's breath quivered. "You're abusing power." "And you're obstructing a lawful detainment," he said, stepping closer. "Hand it over." Jasmine stepped back, fear flickering, but she didn't give in. At that moment, Maya's phone vibrated in her coat pocket, soft, muted, but unmistakable. Rourke glanced at it suspiciously. "Who's calling you?" "No one you have authority over," she replied. "That's what we'll see." He patted her coat roughly until he felt the shape of the phone. But Maya turned slightly, forcing distance between his hand and her body. Do not touch me again. You're making this harder on yourself. My dignity is not an inconvenience. Your attitude is a problem. My existence seems to be the problem, she said. He ignored the comment, still wary of the call. Answer it. No, that's resisting. That's privacy. He clenched his jaw. Answer it. On speaker. Maya's pulse raced. She already knew who it was. She recognized the exact vibration pattern. Only one person had that custom alert. She reluctantly pulled out the phone and tapped accept. Hello. A crisp, authoritative voice filled the air. Maya, the investors are gathering early. We need you on the conference call in 10 minutes. Are you on your way? Maya swallowed. I'm dealing with something. What something? An issue at Green Valley. The voice grew concerned. Are you okay? Rourke snatched the phone from her hand before she could answer. This is Officer Caleb Rourke. She's being detained for investigation. The line went silent. Then the voice said, razor smooth, Officer, what is the charge? That's confidential. No, it isn't, the voice said. Who is this officer? And why is my CEO being harassed in her own store? Rourke blinked, thrown off. Your CEO. Maya closed her eyes. She hadn't wanted it to come out here. Like this. Not in a parking lot full of strangers recording her humiliation. Whispers cut through the air. CEO. Her store. Wait, what? Jasmine gasped. Kyle nearly choked. Rourke stiffened, mask cracking. She's not a CEO. She's a suspect. The voice on the phone replied coldly, You're making a career-ending mistake, officer. Rourke hesitated. His jaw twitched. But instead of backing down, he doubled down. She's coming with me, he said. No exceptions. He ended the call, tossed the phone into Maya's hands, and grabbed her arm again. Enough distractions, he growled. Turn around. Now. A ripple went through the crowd as he pulled out the cuffs. Jasmine reached forward. Officer, stop. But Rourke didn't stop. He pushed Maya against the squad car, metal biting into her palms, as phones recorded everything. Maya stared at a reflection in the squad car window, her own eyes looking back at her, steady, furious, unbroken. And the world around her fell into perfect, devastating clarity. This wasn't about T. This wasn't about suspicion. This was about power, and who he thought deserved to have any. And as the cuffs clicked open behind her, the chapter closed on a single truth. This moment was going to destroy someone, and it was no longer going to be her. The ride to the station felt colder than the wind outside. Maya sat in the back of the squad car, hand-free but dignity bruised, the metal cage separating her from the front seat more symbolic than necessary. Rourke drove rigidly, jaw clenched, knuckles white on the steering wheel. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. She could feel the self-righteous heat rolling off him. At the station, fluorescent lights hummed overhead as she was guided through the lobby. Officers glanced up from desks, some curious, some indifferent, one or two narrowing their eyes as if she already belonged in cuffs. Rourke steered her toward a processing room. Sit. Maya, Saturday, am I under arrest? You are being held pending review. That isn't a legal term. It is when we use it. She exhaled sharply. You're detaining me with no evidence. He shrugged. Evidence develops. That's not how investigations work. Depends who you ask. Maya steadied her voice. You're abusing authority. Rourke leaned forward. I'm preventing theft. I didn't steal anything. He smirked. That's what they all say. Maya closed her eyes for a brief second, letting frustration pool like a weight in her chest. Stay calm. Focus. Don't let him script your reactions. An officer at the door cleared his throat. Rourke, you need to log her ID. Fine. Rourke grabbed the plastic card she offered and slid it through a scanner. He waited, tapping the counter impatiently. Then the computer beeped. Rourke frowned. What? Another officer leaned over. His eyebrows shot up. Whoa. Hey, Caleb, you might want to look at this. Rourke snapped. I'm busy. No, seriously. Look. Rourke grumbled and glanced at the screen. His face tensed, then froze, then went blank. Maya watched his expression shift, each second revealing more confusion than the last. The officer beside him muttered under his breath. She's flagged, corporate, high-level clearance, executive ID. Rourke stared harder. This must be wrong. It's not wrong, the officer whispered. We get flags like this for major corporate registries. She's listed as, wait, CEO. Rourke's jaw dropped open an inch. The officer continued reading. Benton Retail Group. Isn't that? Another officer chimed in from across the room. That's a parent company that owns Green Valley Market. Silence rippled outward. Rourke straightened slowly. No, she can't be. Maya said nothing. She wanted him to sit in that uncertainty. He turned toward her abruptly. You own the store. Maya lifted her chin. I own the entire chain. The room shifted. Conversations quieted. Chairs stopped scraping. Even officers not involved in the incident began drifting closer, drawn by the tension. Rourke's voice cracked. Why didn't you say anything? You never asked, she replied calmly. You assumed everything you wanted to believe. That's not... No. You manipulated. I said I bought tea. Maya cut in. You said people like me get creative. That's not what It's exactly what you said. His face reddened. You should have told me who you were. I told you I was innocent, Maya said. You didn't care. The officer at the desk looked between them. Rourke, you detained the CEO of your incident location with no report, no evidence, no probable. Rourke snapped. I followed procedure. You followed prejudice, Maya corrected. Rourke slammed his palm onto the counter. That is a serious accusation. And yours were not, she asked quietly. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. An older sergeant appeared at the doorway. His voice was measured, but his eyes were sharp. What's happening here? The officer from earlier answered before Rourke could. Detainment without cause. And the system flagged her as a corporate principal. The sergeant's expression hardened immediately. Release her. Now. Rourke spun toward him. Sarge, she fits a suspect description. No theft report, the sergeant said. No evidence. No complainant. You brought her in based on a hunch. Not a hunch, Rourke insisted. Behavioral cues. Behavioral cues, the sergeant repeated flatly. Right. Maya stood slowly. I'd like to call my attorney. The sergeant nodded. Please do. Rourke's face twitched, a tiny storm behind his eyes. This is overblown. She's exaggerating. This, Maya said softly, was only invisible until someone important got hurt. The sergeant exhaled. Officer Rourke, step into my office. Rourke hesitated. But... Now... As the sergeant led him away, Rourke glanced back at her. Something desperate flickered in his gaze. Anger, disbelief, fear. Maybe all three. Maya finally pulled out her phone. Her voice trembled only slightly as she said, It's time. Please come. Her attorney responded immediately. On my way. Maya sat again, fingers interlaced. This ends today, she whispered. But even she didn't yet know just how far the ripple would spread. Maya's attorney, Dana Hollis, entered the station like a controlled storm, heel striking the tile floor with precision, eyes sharp enough to cut glass. Officers parted around her instinctively. She carried no briefcase, no stack of documents. She didn't need props to command a room. Where's my client? She asked, each word crisp. Maya stood as Dana approached. Relief softened her shoulders, but the tension hadn't left her body. Thank you for coming. Dana squeezed her arm gently. Of course. Are you hurt? Not physically. Emotionally. Maya exhaled. Later. Dana nodded once. All right, let's dismantle this. Rourke reappeared from the sergeant's office just as Dana turned toward him. His posture was stiff, eyes guarded, like a man who'd just been scolded and hadn't decided whether to be ashamed or furious. You're Officer Rourke, Dana said. He lifted his chin. Yes. You detained my client. She was acting suspicious. Dana's brows lifted. Suspicious? How? Her behavior. Defined by what standard? It looked evasive. Looked. Dana repeated, the word dripping with disdain. Not was. And did you file a detainment report? Rourke hesitated. It's in process. A retroactive cover is not a report, she snapped. What evidence did you have? She matched the description. What description? Dana demanded. Be precise. A woman with a purse. Dana stared at him, incredulous. So half the population. She was behaving oddly. What exactly did she do? Rourke opened his mouth, but Maya stepped in quietly. I picked up tea. I checked the price. I put it back. Dana nodded slowly, and that warranted detainment. She was scanning the aisle, like someone shopping. Dana cut in. Rourke's jaw tightened. She was making sure no one was watching. She was reading a label. She hesitated. She made a choice. She challenged my authority. Dana stepped closer. Your authority is not a weapon. Rourke's nostrils flared. She was defiant. She asked for evidence, Dana said. You escalated. The sergeant emerged from behind them. That's enough, Dana. No, it isn't, she said, voice steady. I want it on record that this officer detained a black woman without cause, denied her access to exculpatory footage, threatened civilian witness, and attempted to justify everything with language so vague it could apply to any breathing human. Rourke glared. I followed protocol. Dana held up a hand. Is it protocol to ignore the store employee who tried to show you the footage clearing my client? She interfered. She told the truth. She obstructed. She stood up to you, Dana said. And that, Officer Rourke, is a problem. The sergeant sighed. We're handling the internal review. Not fast enough, Dana replied. My client is a high-profile executive. Her detainment is already circulating. Maya stiffened. It is? Dana nodded. The footage Jasmine sent to your corporate liaison went viral within 15 minutes. Maya blinked. That fast? Oh, yes, Dana said. People love injustice when it's recorded in high definition. Rourke paled. She leaked footage? That's illegal. No, Dana corrected. It's public interest. The sergeant stepped forward. Look, we're releasing Miss Benton. Effective immediately. Maya crossed her arms. No apology. The sergeant hesitated. We're reviewing the situation. Reviewing doesn't heal humiliation, Maya said softly. Rourke muttered. I did nothing wrong. Dana turned sharply. Your career is in jeopardy. You understand that. Rourke scoffed. For doing my job. For refusing to understand what your job actually is, Dana replied. He snapped. She acted guilty. What does guilt look like? Dana asked. Because from what I've seen, in your mind it looks a lot like being black. A suffocating silence followed. Rourke's lips trembled. You're twisting this. Are we? Dana asked. Or are we finally naming it? The sergeant raised his hands. We're not litigating this here. Ms. Benton, you're free to go. Officer Rourke, my office. Now. Rourke stared at Maya, disbelief etched into every line of his face. This isn't over, he muttered. Maya met his gaze. No, she said quietly. It's finally beginning. Rourke stiffened as the sergeant gestured him away. He followed reluctantly, each step heavy, as if walking deep into a sinking ship. Dana exhaled. Let's get out of here. As they stepped outside, cold air hit Maya's face like a cleansing shock. But the parking lot outside the station wasn't empty. Reporters stood waiting. Microphones lifted. Cameras rolled. A wall of voices crashed toward her. Ms. Benton, is it true you were profiled? Are you pressing charges? Do you plan to issue a corporate statement? Was this racially motivated? Do Green Valley stores lack proper training protocols? Did the officer assault you? Do you feel safe? Maya flinched. Dana stepped between her and the crowd. No questions right now. Back up. Give her space. But more reporters arrived, microphones reaching like hands. Amid the chaos, Jasmine appeared near the edge of the crowd, nervous, trembling, watching Maya with wide, apologetic eyes. Maya met her gaze and offered a small, exhausted nod. Jasmine nodded back, tears of guilt shimmering. Dana leaned in. This is going to get bigger. Fast. Maya looked out at the sea of cameras, flashes sparking like lightning. I know, she whispered. But somewhere beneath the exhaustion, something else stirred. Resolve. By morning, Maya's phone vibrated so constantly it felt alive in her hand. Messages stacked like falling bricks, corporate alerts, investor group chats, news notifications, meeting requests, board panic. Dana's voice came through on speaker while Maya stood in her kitchen staring at untouched coffee. It's everywhere, Dana said. Every platform. Every news cycle. I figured, Maya murmured. You trended overnight. #GroceryGate, #profiling at Green Valley, and, bizarrely, #Tea incident. Maya sighed. They made it a meme. Everything becomes a meme. Dana paused. Are you okay? Maya hesitated. I don't know yet. A notification blinked. Board meeting in 45 minutes. Dana continued. Investors want to know how this affects operations. They're nervous. Nervous about racism, Maya said, or about profit. I think you know the answer. Maya sipped her cold coffee and winced. I'll handle it. Before she could hang up, another notification buzzed. A news anchor's voice played automatically. The CEO of Benton Retail Group, detained without cause, community outrage, calls for reform. Another video cued. Rourke's face, frozen mid-snarl, screenshot from the parking lot. Online commenters dissected each frame like forensic analysts. Maya turned off the phone. Silence, finally, but it wasn't comforting. It felt heavy, too heavy. Her chest tightened as memories flickered. Old wounds she never gave voice to, incidents she buried to keep moving forward. Corporate boardrooms where she was mistaken for an assistant. Meetings where men asked who her real boss was. Security tailing her at her own flagship store grand opening. She had swallowed so much to succeed, and now it was all spilling into the open, dragged by a single moment in the grocery aisle. A knock sounded at her door. Maya startled. Who is it? It's Jasmine, came a timid voice. Maya opened the door to find a young cashier clutching a small grocery bag. I brought tea. The chamomile you were buying. I'm sorry if that's weird. Maya blinked, then stepped aside. You didn't have to do that. I wanted to, Jasmine said softly. May I come in? Of course. Jasmine entered cautiously, as though afraid of disrupting the air. She looked around the apartment, clean, elegant, warm. I'm still processing that you own the whole company. Maya offered a faint smile. Most people are. Jasmine set the bag on the counter. I wanted to say, thank you for not letting him crush you. Maya shook her head. I didn't stop him. Not really. You did, Jasmine insisted. You stayed calm. You didn't let him twist your words. And when he tried to intimidate you, her voice cracked. You didn't shrink. Maya leaned against the counter. I've been shrinking my whole life in ways people never see. Jasmine's eyes softened. You shouldn't have to. They stood quietly for a moment. Then Jasmine exhaled. Everyone at the store is talking about it. Kyle's terrified he'll lose his job. Some employees are ashamed they didn't step in. Others, they're angry, like actually angry, and they're organizing a statement. A statement. Maya echoed. Yeah, a collective one, saying they won't tolerate profiling in the store anymore. Maya felt a slow warmth bloom through her chest. That means a lot. Even our senior clerk, Mr. Donovan, Jasmine added, and he never gets involved in anything. But he said what happened was disgusting and unbecoming of any community forward of the civil rights era. A small laugh escaped Maya. That sounds like him. Jasmine smiled. Then her expression dimmed. I'm sorry I didn't do more. You did enough, Maya said. Most people didn't even try. Jasmine's voice trembled. I was scared, but then I thought, if not now, then when? Maya reached out gently. You helped me. Truly. Jasmine blinked back tears. I'm glad. Another buzz from Maya's phone interrupted them. Dana's text flashed on screen. Internal update. Officer Rourke placed on administrative leave pending investigation. Jasmine saw the message. Good. Maya nodded slowly. It's a start. Jasmine hesitated before speaking again. You should know something else. People from the department have been at the store all morning. They're interviewing staff. Maya tilted her head. Interviewing them for what? To figure out if this is just about you, or if Officer Rourke has done this before. Maya froze. Has he? She whispered. Jasmine bit her lip. I don't know, but some employees said they've seen him stop certain customers more often. Always the same type of customer. Maya closed her eyes. Of course. People are coming forward, Jasmine said. Even an older customer said she felt targeted before. The weight of that truth pressed heavily on Maya's shoulders. She wasn't the first, just the first whose humiliation reached the news. The kettle on Maya's stove clicked faintly as it cooled. She opened her eyes. Thank you for telling me. Jasmine nodded, pulling her apron tighter around herself. Whatever happens next, you won't be alone. Maya looked at her, really looked at her, this young woman who had risked losing her job, who stood up even when others stayed silent, who saw her as a human being before she saw her title. Maya's voice softened. I want you to stay connected. There may be opportunities for you soon. For me? Jasmine's eyes widened. Why? Because integrity, Maya said, is rare, and I want people like you in my company. Jasmine covered her mouth with her hand, shaking. A notification buzzed again. This time, police department schedules public disciplinary hearing for Officer Caleb Rourke tomorrow morning. Jasmine swallowed. It's happening. Maya stayed at the screen. Yes, she whispered. It is. But inside, beneath the resolve, there was still a small, shaking part of her asking the quiet question she never let herself voice. And will justice be enough to heal the wound? The municipal hearing room felt colder than the station had. Sterile tile, polished with tables, and a faint scent of paper and industrial cleaner. Maya sat with Dana beside her, the long rectangular chamber buzzing with quiet murmurs from press, community advocates, and officers in uniform who had come to witness the spectacle. At the far end sat a three-person review panel. Stoner-faced, impatient, tired of politics, yet fully submerged in it. Rourke entered a moment later, shoulders tense, jaw clenched tight enough to splinter teeth. His uniform looked freshly pressed, as if crisp fabric had covered the damage already done. Dana whispered, Stay calm. Truth is your ally. Maya nodded once. The hearing began. Officer Caleb Rourke, the lead painless, said, Today we review your conduct during the detainment of Ms. Maya Benton. You may begin with your account. Rourke cleared his throat. Yes, I responded to a suspected shoplifting call. Witness reports matched Ms. Benton's behavior. Which reports? The painless asked. A call came through dispatch. Do you have the transcript? Not physically, but... Dana stood smoothly. I have the dispatch logs. There was no call. Not before he detained her. Rourke's head jerked toward her. It must not have been logged. Another painless frowned. We'll log everything. Rourke swallowed. Maybe it was a glitch. The lead painless raised a brow. Proceed, officer. Rourke straightened. Ms. Benton displayed evasive body language. Kept scanning the aisle, adjusting her belongings, acting nervous. Dana interjected. That is cold shopping. It was more than that, Rourke insisted. She hesitated, looked around, acted guilty. Maya remained silent, watching his story unravel. The painless leaned forward. Officer, walk us through the moment you approached her. I asked her what she planned to do with the item she picked up. You accused her, Dana corrected. Rourke glared. I questioned her. Your exact words, Dana said, reading from her notes. You people always get creative. Rourke froze. A heavy silence fell. That was taken out of context, he muttered. Explain the context, the lead painless said. It wasn't racial, Rourke insisted. I meant thieves, criminals, dishonest types. Dishonest types, Dana echoed, tone sharp. Rourke stammered. It wasn't about race. Then why, Dana asked, did you tell her she matched a suspect description that didn't exist? She fit the profile. What profile? Dana pressed. Rourke's eyes flickered. Someone with evasive behavior. Or, Dana said softly, a black woman in a store. The panel shifted. Rourke snapped, I am not racist. No one said the word, Dana replied, until you did. Rourke flushed deeply. The lead painless tapped the pen. Officer, continue. Rourke took a shaky breath. She challenged my authority. Got loud. Maya finally spoke. I didn't raise my voice. She questioned me, Rourke said, repeatedly. That is legal, Dana said. Police are not dictators. Rourke's voice hardened. Her attitude became threatening. The painless raised a hand. Threatening how? She wouldn't comply. She didn't resist, Dana countered. She resisted my direction. She asked for evidence. She interrogated me. Dana's voice sharpened. She asked why she was being detained. That's called transparency, not interrogation. Rourke shook his head vehemently. She was hostile. The painless stared at him. Did she physically resist? No. Did she yell, curse, or cause disturbance? No. Did she attempt to flee? No. A long pause. Then what? The painless asked flatly. Was a threat? Rourke's lips parted. Nothing came out. Whispers rippled through the room. Dana stepped forward. If I may, the footage speaks more clearly than words. The panel nodded. Play it. The screens beside the panel lit up. The tea aisle, Maya browsing, Rourke approaching her with visible aggression, him grabbing her arm, her steady voice, his escalating tone, Jasmine trying to help and being shut down, and finally, the parking lot scene, Maya pressed against the car, surrounded by a ring of phones, humiliation thick in her posture. The footage played again in silence. The painless exchanged slow, grave looks. Rourke broke the quiet first. This is edited. Clearly, you don't see what I saw. The sergeant from earlier stood in the back of the room. Caleb, stop. Rourke spun. You don't get it. They are twisting everything. She acted above the law. She thought she was too important to follow instructions. Dana asked, because she asked for evidence. Because she talked down to me. Maya looked up, eyes steady. No, officer, I spoke to you like an equal. Rourke flinched. You hated that, she added. His voice cracked. You were smug. I was calm. You were condescending. I was frightened. Rourke's breathing quickened. You were disrespectful. Officer, the lead painless interrupted sharply. You are describing a woman who stood still, spoke softly, and complied with movement instructions. Rourke pointed at Maya. She thinks she's untouchable. She owns a place. She thinks she can walk anywhere without scrutiny. Dana whispered, and there it is. The painless folded her hands. Officer Rourke, that last statement concerns us. It's the truth. It is prejudice, the painless said, not procedure. Rourke's face drained of color. He glanced around wildly, seeking support. None came. Even the officers in uniform stared at him with quiet disbelief, some with shame. The painless straightened. We will recess for deliberation. Rourke stepped forward. No, you have to hear me out. But the panel had already stood. The room buzzed with murmurs as they exited through the side door. Maya inhaled deeply, her heartbeat loud in her ears. Dana touched her elbow. You did well. I didn't say much, Maya said. You didn't have to, Dana replied. Truth speaks without volume. Across the room, Rourke sank into his chair, trembling, staring at the door the panel had disappeared through. For the first time, he looked afraid. The camera crews leaned forward. Journalists whispered. Tension hung like a storm cloud refusing to break. Minutes stretched. Finally, the door reopened. The painless returned, expressions unreadable. Everyone rose. The lead painless cleared her throat. After reviewing all evidence and testimony, we have reached. Fade. Silence. A breath suspended in air. Maya's heart pounded once. Hard. The decision was coming, and it would change everything. The review panel reconvened with an air of finality. 3 chairs aligned like judges in a modern tribunal. Conversations across the hearing room died abruptly. Even the fluorescent lights seemed to dim under the gravity of the moment. The lead painless cleared her throat. Officer Caleb Rourke, after reviewing the footage, testimony, and conduct during detainment, this panel has determined that your actions constituted a violation of department policy, abuse of authority, and discriminatory profiling. Rourke's face crumpled. What? No, this is wrong. I told you, she. Officer, the painless snapped. Do not interrupt. The second painless continued. Effective immediately, you are terminated from the police department. Furthermore, a civil rights investigation by the State Oversight Committee will begin today. The third added, your badge and firearm are to be surrendered before you leave the premises. A cold, stunned silence rippled across the room. Rourke staggered backward as though the words were physical blows. You're ruining my life. Over a misunderstanding. Dana answered sharply. The misunderstanding was yours. The consequences are not. Rourke pointed at Maya, eyes wild. You did this. You played the victim. You twisted everything. Maya rose slowly from her seat. Her voice was calm, steady. I didn't destroy your career, officer. Your choices did. You, his voice cracked. You think you won. Maya held his gaze. No, there's no winning here. Only truth. Security moved toward Rourke. The sergeant stepped forward, his expression heavy. Caleb, hand over the badge. Rourke stared at him, hurt, betrayed, desperate. But rules were rules, and consequences were overdue. He placed his badge on the table with a trembling hand. His firearm followed. The metallic clink echoed through the chamber like a final verdict. Rourke's voice broke as he said, I was just doing my job. Maya met his eyes one last time. Then your job needs a change. They escorted him out, his shoulders collapsing inward. The room watched silently, not celebrating, not gloating, just witnessing the fall of a man who believed authority excused cruelty. When the doors closed behind him, the tension dissolved into an exhausted hush. Dana exhaled. It's done. Maya lowered herself back into her chair. For a moment, she felt nothing, no relief, no victory. Just a hollow space where something painful had lived too long. The lead painless approached her. Ms. Benton, we're deeply sorry. Maya nodded. Thank you. This ruling will be made public this afternoon. Please prepare for media attention. I will. The painless hesitated. Your composure throughout this ordeal was remarkable. Maya gave a small smile. It was survival. Outside the building, a large crowd had formed. Reporters, community advocates, customers, store employees. Microphones rose instantly. Ms. Benton, the ruling. Do you feel justice was served? Will you press charges? Do you plan to make corporate reforms? What message do you have for Black Americans who face profiling daily? How do you feel? How do you feel? Maya paused, weighing the question. She stepped toward the podium. Her voice was quiet, but carried over the crowd. This was never just about me. It was about a pattern, a system, a mindset that sees certain people as threats before they open their mouths, before they make a choice, before they breathe. Cameras clicked. I am grateful the truth came out. I am grateful for accountability. But justice is not a single moment. It's an ongoing responsibility. Reporters leaned in. And I intend, she continued, to take responsibility for what I can change. A few hours later, Maya stood inside the corporate headquarters of Benton Retail Group. The board members hovered anxiously. One spoke first. Maya, we're relieved you're safe. The situation has shaken our investors. Maya nodded. It should. Another cleared his throat. What steps will the company take? The public is demanding action. Maya opened the folder. We're implementing mandatory anti-profiling and de-escalation training across all stores. Effective immediately. The board members exchanged looks. Additionally, she continued, I'm creating a department dedicated to community oversight and internal reporting on discrimination. That's ambitious, one said cautiously. It's necessary, Maya replied. We set the standard for how people should be treated on our property. The board quieted. Her authority filled the room. Later that evening, Maya returned to the Green Valley Market where it had all begun. Cameras were gone. Customers moved normally through the aisles, unaware of her presence. She walked slowly, tracing the path she had taken that day, past the produce section, through the bakery, to aisle 5. The tea shelf looked painfully ordinary. She reached out and picked up the same chamomile tea she'd touched before. A familiar voice startled her. Ms. Benton. She turned. Jasmine stood at the end of the aisle, holding a clipboard. Didn't expect to see you here, Jasmine said. I needed to come back, Maya said softly, to stand where it happened, on my terms. Jasmine smiled weakly. How does it feel? Maya looked at the tea box, lightweight, harmless, yet symbolic of everything she endured. It feels, she said slowly, like reclaiming something I didn't know I'd lost. Jasmine stepped closer. I have news. The employees voted. They want me to represent them on the new oversight committee you mentioned. Maya's face warmed. I was hoping you'd say that. Jasmine grinned nervously. I want to help make things better. You already did, Maya said. And now, you'll help prevent it from happening again. Jasmine's eyes glistened. Thank you. Maya took a breath. Deep, steady, healing. Then she placed the chamomile tea into her basket. This time, no one questioned her. No one stared. No one followed. She walked toward the checkout line, her steps light, her heart heavy but strong, because justice had come. Not perfectly, not painlessly, but truth had taken root. And Maya, survivor, leader, woman who refused to shrink, walked forward into a future she would shape herself.